How y'all doing? Today they're having a CNN debate live on TV. Many of you folks are probably watching it. Looks like we have the two so-called front runners of the Republican Party, the candidates that everybody pushes, and some Democrats. I haven't seen it, I haven't watched it, I've heard about it, and I'll probably take the time to give it some attention here later on this evening. But I'm here going through some posts, and I see the panic of people talking about fraud. I see the panic of people talking about, oh my God, gas prices are astronomical. I see the panic of who else could be in the race. Oh my God, the Democrats are doing this, the Democrats are doing that, voter ID this, voter ID that. All kinds of things on the net, at least from the Twitter feeds. Now, whatever's happening in Facebook and TikTok, who knows? It's a whole different venue. But I will say this because it kind of dawned on me, and nobody's talking about it. So let me start. We're going to bring us up to speed. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Today is the 28th of April. My name is Leo Naranjo, the fourth candidate for governor in the 2026 campaign election. See the sign? Deeds, not words, people. If you're ready for change, here I am. Sometimes I give commentaries that might be a little pointed. Sometimes I give commentaries that may be a little bit sarcastic. They could be construed as being sharp, maybe stuff the candidates shouldn't say. Problem we have in the Republican Party is we have people that take pot shots at candidates, and all they do is just suck it up. No fight, no give. Well, hell, if you can't defend yourself, then how the hell are you going to defend anybody else? I get it that you yield to some arguments, but not all of them, which is what a lot of our people do. Well, here's something that nobody is saying. Nobody is talking about. And I reflect back to Rush Limbaugh in the days of standing different and outside of the box, thinking outside of the box. As George Patton was famously fond of saying, if everybody's thinking alike, nobody's thinking. Well, maybe I'm one of those that thinks too much, too often. And I project forward thought because that's what I was taught when my grandfather taught me how to play chess. The move and 5 after that. Anticipation. Military taught me how to do certain things too. Anticipation. So what am I bringing all this up for? Leo, there's a debate going on. We're too busy worried about Chad Bianco. We're too busy worried about Steve Hilton. We're too busy worried about life in general to notice things. But you better start, ladies and gentlemen, because it's getting ready to start popping us. I'm just going to be the first person to raise the issue. If you recall, some of you might, if you follow me, I went down to Georgia with my family to ensure our daughter was secure in her livelihood. Had to do some rearranging down there, make sure everything was good. Gas prices at Costco at the time back in March, $2.46 a gallon. I bet you people wish for that day to be here, don't you? $2.46 a gallon. Can you imagine the look on my face when I popped in the pump to start filling up gas, and within a couple of seconds it was done? And I said, well, I must have did something wrong, or the handle popped. No, it was filled. Gas tank was done. Gas pump was finished. Ooh, damn. How much is this going to cost me? Maybe she didn't have that much gas that she needed in her car. No, she needed a full tank. $26 to fill up a tank of gas. In Morrow, Georgia, back in March of 2026. Let me round it down, $25 basically. You know what that price is today here in California? $75 freaking dollars to fill up the same car in California. How the hell did that happen? This isn't Trump's war. That price was already gouging and surging up beforehand because of stupid policies from the Democrats with this go green crap, anti-oil and everything else. It's almost as if it's being steered. Tons of oil underneath California. We're not getting it. Few refineries left. Most of them are leaving. We're going to regenerate and revitalize the oil community. But the oil community is packing up and shipping because nothing's changed for them. $25 gas in Georgia, $75 gas here in California. That's average. Sacramento area, we're about $6. Los Angeles area, I think you people are pushing $7. On the highway, where you're a controlled environment running up and down I-5, oh my God. Diesel fuel, $9. Shit, pardon my French. I don't know how the hell you truckers do it, or you guys with the big 4x4 Ford pickups that run only on diesel fuel. You guys are getting hammered. Regular gas, $6, $7. Some prices near $8 on the freeway because we're a hostage element running up and down I-5 or Highway 99. And then if you go even farther to those little bitty gas stations in the middle of nowhere, I wouldn't be surprised if way up north you don't find $10 a gallon of gas or damn near close to it. But that's California. We have first-class gas. We have premium gas. We have designer gas that seems to be more jacked up than the world's regular fuel supply that we have to make because of bullshit go green policies. Have you been to McDonald's lately? 2 kids and 2 adults, damn near $100 for McDonald's. And the quality of food, if they get the order right. High prices, shitty service. Meal is shrunk down, smaller sizes. That's how they can resize and still charge you the same amount or more in this case. $100 to go to McDonald's. Oh my God, just think if you did that often. Once a week, that's $400 for one meal. Some dumbass running for treasurer thought that was a better deal than staying home and cooking. Names not included, but we know who I'm talking about. $400 in a month just to go to McDonald's. Heaven help you if you go to a restaurant and eat out for the meal for $4. That's damn near $150, if not $200, because if you have a brewski, that's expensive too. And the costs are piling and piling. The more gas goes up, the more goods and services go up correspondingly. Who do you think moves all these products that you get from the stores or, in the restaurants? Truckers? Trains? Shipping? What do you think they're doing when their fuel prices start to climb astronomically? Pass it on to us. Hit us with the costs. They're not going to absorb anything. They're going to make profit. But you and I are going to suffer tremendously. What happens to these airline people that pretty soon should be bitching almost as loud as everybody else, but you don't hear them saying much unless you focus on them? You think air travel's gotten cheaper? No, we're going to gouge the hell out of you out of bags that you bring on. Fees are going up astronomically to compensate. Services are going down. Amenities are leaving, if not disappearing altogether. And at some point, ladies and gentlemen, as I bring this all around to what I'm trying to tell you is, you're going to start doing what economists call pulling back. You're not going to go out and eat as often. You might run up your debt. Oh yeah, we're going to still do that as Americans. But we had this discussion before with Tom Sullivan. And when people lacked money, they charged more. How's your credit card debt today? for those people that overcharge, how is your ability to pay for that card going today? God help you if you're charging up on gas. Shit. 30% interest, 40% interest. Damn, those are near loan shark charges. I thought that was illegal, but credit card companies are doing it. 30 to 35% interest. Don't be late. That's a $50 slapped fee for being late. How many people are on the verge of declaring bankruptcy because of credit card debt? What's the average credit card debt now? Has anybody reported this? No, we're not talking about it. We're talking about voter ID. We're talking about everything under the sun except what's happening to our state. Remember, California leads the way, right? Coming up on midterm elections. You see where I'm going with this? You pundits out there know damn well exactly where I'm going with this. Some of you not so politically attuned are still trying to figure out what the hell I'm even trying to say. So let me continue on my journey. You start pulling back because it's costing you an arm and a leg to go to McDonald's, to go to Burger King, to go to Wendy's, to go to your favorite restaurant. Hell, don't have a luxurious restaurant meal. You better have some coupons. That's going to cost you a paycheck. Want to take a trip up to the mountains to visit the scenery? That's going to cost you about $200 or $300 up and back, depending on your gas mileage, your vehicle, and the type of gas you purchase. If you're lucky, maybe you'll find an Indian casino that has slightly lower prices. Some of them don't. Almost standard to everywhere else. And this is what people don't want to use, the R word. Those of you in the 70s remember, because we went through that. Those of you about a couple of decades ago remember that. We went through that too. What's the R word I'm talking about? I'm not talking about Republicans. I'm not talking about responsibility. I'm not talking about right, wrong, demo, left, right, conservative, liberal. I'm not talking about any of that, people. The word that I'm getting ready to drop on you is the one that makes economists cringe. It'll make people in the political world think I'm a complete moron. And it'll say, oh, you're a defeatist. Oh my God, you're a defeatist, Leo. You're pessimistic. You just are bad news. Am I? The realization is here. Whether or not you want to accept it is not my issue. That's your problem, not mine. You don't have to point out the obvious because people are going to start doing it, but you will be reporting it sooner or later. And you might as well start tackling it now because it's a problem today. What word am I talking about, ladies and gentlemen? Recession. Put it on record. I, Leo Naranjo IV, dropped the R-bomb on the public on a video posting, and I called out the word recession is getting ready to smack California right in the chops. Oh my God. It's going to start making grumbling waves. It's going to start hurting people in the pocketbook. They're having a hell of a time trying to get to work. Oh, let's talk about that one. You can't drive to work. So maybe because of that high price of gas spiking, you want to work from home. Cool. The problem is the businesses that surround your work site don't get your foot traffic to pay their bills. They bitch and moan and groan. Government forces you to come back to your government jobs and drive to work. Either you're going to find a new job or you're going to cut back even more on your expenses. Which one goes first? Night outs, club hopping, restaurants, maybe a movie, ice cream. No matter how bad life gets, there's always ice cream. So that one's not even on the table. It's not even a topic of discussion. Casinos, I've seen people go to casinos flat ass broke. So what? They still go. No matter how bad the economy is, they still manage to find money for the casino. Can't find money to help me out of my campaign. That was a plug. Sorry, it's shameful. But if you're pouring out money to get to and from work, you're going to have to start cutting back somewhere. And let's go a little deeper because it hurts now. You may demand wages. Nope, that's not going to happen. Counties would have to increase taxes for wage increases. Might start talking about rolling back, cutting hours, reducing wages, terminating employees because they can't afford to keep all of them on the dole anymore. Cutbacks, downsizing, call it what you will. While you're sitting there trying to figure out how to get to work, to and from work, paying out the gas prices, whatever it is you're paying out, now you include for those people in the Bay Area, and now, excuse me, up and down that Bay Area corridor, from Fairfield to San Francisco, they put in a freaking lane to charge you more money to drive on the freeway that we already pay for. Those fees go up too. Add in the bridge tolls. Add in the fast track tolls. Add in the gas prices that you're running up and down the street and the highways burning through. Try and go out and about and enjoy life, travel somewhere, you're going to start pulling back. You're going to look at all those TV channels you flip out for, and then you're going to start pulling back. Hell, why even bother to have cable? You can go online and get Netflix. Maybe you cut a few things. Maybe you snip a few things. Maybe you don't buy that cute looking dress that you see over there at Macy's or Kohl's or whatever's left over to shop and buy clothes from. Maybe you wait a little bit. But then that's kind of detrimental because you want to fix up something of your house. So you have to go buy stuff from Home Depot. Problem is, pretty soon you got to stop doing that too because it's expensive there also. Your credit card bills are going up. Today you don't feel them, but next month you start getting that bill. Now you know what I'm talking about when we start talking about recession. The higher your credit card debt with that maximum amount of interest they're charging us and gouging the hell out of us. Nobody talks about that either. That pulls direct cash out of your pocket to pay off that bill. Do the minimum payment, you're stuck in a loop now. Economists talk about that also. I'd love to take the grandkids to point A and point B. Problem is, it's expensive to do so. When that pullback happens, what happens to businesses? Let's take it at the state level, especially in Sacramento. This is a state level town, folks. All the workers were consolidated downtown Sacramento. And what did the companies do? They put businesses to accommodate the workforce that was entrapped being in downtown Sacramento. Well, if they're not there, what happens? You have people losing their businesses. Restaurants, the little shops, the little knick-knack stores here and there. No foot traffic. You got too many homeless people around now. People don't want to go downtown and just meander and walk around. Too many problems. Stores go out of business. When you have things that get cut, what happens? People get unemployed. Starts to spiral downward. I might be the only Republican that's saying anything about the potential of what we're getting ready to face, but lo and behold, we're getting ready to face a recession. And the more this nonsense keeps going on, the more the gas prices keep going up, the more it's going to happen in California. And when you start have it happen in California, what starts to happen elsewhere? It starts to spread. This is how you impact the 2028 election, by causing this. This is how you impact the 2026 midterms, by causing this. This is how you try to avoid impacting the 2026 governor election in California, the gubernatorial race. Nobody wants to talk about the problem we have facing California, the debt we've accumulated, the impact that this nonsensical go green crap is getting ready to cost us. But you better wake up and smell the coffee. It's not a pessimistic view. It's not a loser mentality. It's the reality that we need to have something done. But unfortunately, Gino Gavin is too worried about his presidential run. For those of you that are clueless on that topic, let me forewarn you and bring you up to speed there too. Gino Gavin stopped caring about California 6 months after he won his first election, folks. That man didn't worry about the state. He got stamped. Pass. Next. Somebody made an interesting post online here today. Fiona Ma, treasurer. What is she now running for? Lieutenant governor. Lieutenant governor. Eleni Kolonakis. What is she currently? Lieutenant governor. What is she running for? Treasurer. In politics, what happens here in California, you ever seen that game Musical Chairs? Y'all remember that as kids? Musical Chairs, you got so many seats, so many people round, and music's played until it stops and everybody runs for a seat. Well, this is how that's played in California. And I equated this a long time ago when I started to figure it out. Democrats play the game of musical chairs like this. You have 10 Democrats running for office. You have 10 chairs with a different title. Music plays, everybody stops, and you just switch titles. That's it. Republicans? Well, we're not that smart. We've got 10 Republicans, but only 9 seats. So when the musical chairs game starts playing, when the music stops, somebody has to wait a turn. No big deal. They'll come back next cycle. That's why we're in the problems that we're in now. Welfare Office has already pulled back and closed their main office in downtown Sacramento. Why? The spigot for food stamp fraud has been turned off. The spigot for Medi-Cal fraud has been turned off. They're tightening their belts. Sacramento County is now faced with a budget deficit. They're tightening their belts. Sacramento City has a big deficit problem. They're tightening their belts. Everybody is having issues financially. Trump has cut the spigots. You think the little community of Ileton is going to be able to pay their way out of their problem? No, I went down there to try and resolve their problem, but they were intent on watching their city get destroyed. Well, lo and behold, where are they today? Nobody knows. Have they turned in a budget for state auditors? Ask the so-called online influencers about the little community of Ileton. I went down there to make a difference. But I went down there to make a difference for change, to save a city from the stupidity of itself. Those in charge of it determined to bankrupt the city. And they got mad. Some of them were openly hostile. City manager. But that's because they embrace failure and personal gain at our expense. Not theirs. They don't care if they disenfranchise, so what? They're still going to get paid. Somebody will fit the bill for their government job, and if not, they just move on to the next topic. But that community had a problem. Benicia, California has a huge problem. I talked to their city manager about that. Oh, he let me know they're trying to sell the property. Trying to sell that Valero property. Yeah, we're going to turn a profit. We're going to clean ourselves up. We're going to be able to just right on in because we'll be financially stable. Wrong answer. You think you can turn property of an oil refinery to somebody else overnight and you just purchase the land and everything's good to go? You're stupider than I am, as people claim. It's going to take you decades and lawsuits upon lawsuits to figure out what they did, how long they did it for, how deep that problem goes into the soil before you can ever turn that property over to anything for anybody at any price. Don't believe me? Good luck trying it now. These are things that I knew were coming up when I ran this race, and I started in 2023. Faced with $35 billion budget deficits for the first year, 2026, and every year thereafter for the next 3 years. Already knew that, anticipated it, how to fix it, how to reduce it, how to end it. People talk about what Gavin Newsom has done, what he's not doing, everything else like that. Oh, the man can never be president. Who cares about his presidential aspirations at this point in time? You, as the state of California, are not going to really drive that train home. 49 other states have seen what he's done to this one. Do you think they're that stupid to allow him to take control of the country? No. Have a little faith, folks. Gavin Newsom is done politically. He's like that old movie, Dead Man Walking, except he doesn't know it yet. And he doesn't care about California. I've said this way back when, 2024, when Randy Economy started his recall action. Gavin Newsom has gone from California, and he's like the squatter. As you try and pull him out, he's going to tear this state up as much as he can before he leaves. And the legislature, oh, Jesus, they're going apeshit, passing every possible regulation, tax, loophole, and everything else they can do before the new governor comes in. Because if it's a Republican, it's going to be on the Republican to solve all these issues that they know damn well they can't. They're not going to help the man solve anything. They're going to destroy the state slower, but the same pace, it's still going to be destroyed. And if it's a Democratic governor, well, who cares? He just undo a few laws, jack a few taxes and fees, we call it a day. Because Trump's only got 2 more years. They're hedging on the bet. They're hedging on a change. They're hedging on a push that the Trump legacy will be squelched with a new Democrat arising from the ashes of the phoenix after the Biden era. For those of you that are that desperate, Kamala Harris is not going to be the one. Sorry. So yes, California faces a recession. We are getting ready to have a looming one hanging over our heads. Prices keep going up as they're going. Let that gas tax go ahead and hit. Let it be suspended. Let it be anything other than removed. And you'll soon see recession is going to start to be the catchword of the media. They don't want to say it right now because it's not popular to say. It doesn't generate income for them. And there's no candidate on the trail right now that's brave or bold enough to start talking about the potential of a recession in California. When your welfare people start making cuts, it ain't long before there are others soon to follow. How many businesses have we lost? What are the tax numbers right now in the state of California? Where's the budget? Where are the numbers? Mr. Hilton likes to talk about when he gets elected, he's going to make a budget and he's going to pass it and ram it through the legislature. Newsflash, slick. The only thing you're going to do is revise the budget that Newsom has already generated for this fiscal year. You're not going to get the opportunity to do jack diddly. And your budget, the budget that we both face as candidates, $35 billion in the hole is the starting number from what I've heard. And there's no help forthcoming from Mr. Trump. And I'm not sure how you knowing him or begging for help is going to help California. Because you would try and keep the status quo of keeping illegals in the Medicaid system after taking them out of the Medi-Cal system, but you haven't really changed anything. Illegals would still be getting taxpayer-funded insurance. Prices keep going up. Recession is getting ready to pop us in the face. Don't believe me? Let events take their course. But start prepping for that conversation today. And you've heard it here first. Leo Naranjo IV uses the R word that everybody can't stand, hates, and fears to utter or say in public. Recession is looming in California. The higher gas and fuel prices keep spiking. God bless each and every one of you out there. Yeah, I'm bold enough to say it. That's why they don't like me. They being the establishment. My name is Leo Naranjo IV, leonaranjo4gov.com. I hope you go out there, look at the site, check it out, vet it out, test me out, ask some questions, because you'll get the raw answers, and they'll be hardcore answers. Here's what it is. Not the BS, not the platitudes, not the fancy glittery crap. You're going to get some real answers for real situations on what we need to do to fix California. If you want changes, here I am. Leo Naranjo IV, deeds, not words. God bless each and every one of you. Have a great afternoon and a great evening. Enjoy your day, and I look forward to tomorrow. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.